It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another live Sunday night edition of the Mike Prince Show. Of course, it is our daily mission to come to you with news that you could use. Tonight, it's not going to be an exception to the rule. We got a lot in store for you. A slight change of plan, but we still got a lot locked and lined for you on this evening. We originally had Dr. Donald Reed of the Prairie View A&M University Athletic Department. We also have Mike Robertson, head baseball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers. We're going to hear from the head football coach of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, none other than Coach Eric Dooley, and our football analyst of college football, none other than B.J. Jones. Now, if you heard, there's been a slight change. Last minute scratch was athletic director Dr. Donald Reed had a meeting of SWAC nature that he had to partake in, and we do understand that. That's the nature of the beast. We got a whole lot in store. We're going to hear a recap from BJ as well, from BJ on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. We'll hear from Rob Butler of the Southland Report and so much more. So without me prolonging the process, let us jump right into today's episode. Really and truly thank you guys for joining in with us and making this network what it has become. And what a weekend this truly was. An exciting weekend, a weekend full of shakeups, should we say? And even a weekend full of disappointments. I'll explain that in just a little bit. But what about the Jackson State Tigers? They go to the hole, had not had much success on the campus of Grambling, and along comes a guy by the name of Dion. They travel to Ruston. They win the game in dramatic fashion, I might add, to seal the road victory. And if that wasn't enough, you had Arkansas Pine Bluff, or should we say Arkansas at Pine Bluff, on Doc Gamble's debut to go to Baton Rouge, Mumford Stadium, and pull off the victory over the Southern Jaguars. And to continue to add, Alabama A&M took it right to South Carolina State, and had their way with them. 31-7 was the score. And the nightcap, of course, Prairie View victorious over Texas Southern by the score of 20-19. We'll hear from Coach Eric Dooley later on with the recap of that. But what I want to do right now, I want to go to Brandon B.J. Jones. He left a recap on the message line, and we'll go ahead and play that, and then we'll come back a little bit more on the weekend that was on the gridiron. You listen to the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is B.J. Jones, man. We got a lot to talk about. This weekend had a full slate of games in the SWAC, but the game I wanted to talk about, Jackson State. Yes, Jackson State, led by head coach Deion Sanders, goes into Robinson Stadium and defeat the G-Men of Grambling. First Jackson State win over Grambling since 2012. First Grambling State loss at home since 2015. Jackson State gets it done, 33-28. Game started off, it was all Jackson State. They score first. Then Grambling scores 14 unanswered. Then the Tigers of the Jackson State variety scored 20 unanswered in the second half. And after that, it was all Grambling. all the way up until when it really, really mattered. Grambling going in to get the score, fumble the ball at the goal line. Jackson State takes over to solidify the win. Offensively, Tyson Alexander from Jackson State, 17 carries for 184 yards, a whopping 10.8 yards per carry, and a touchdown to go on the day. Jalen Jones was efficient, 12 of 18 for 180 yards. The pretty piece of the puzzle, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Tigers have officially, the Tigers of the Jackson State variety, have officially put the SWAC on notice. We'll see how this goes. Where does Grambling go from here? And where does Jackson State go? And was this a preview of a potential SWAC championship game this spring? We'll find out later. I'm out of here. It's your boy BJ Jones, host of The Barbershop on the Open Mic Network.
And we do thank Brother BJ Jones. We'll hear from him later on throughout tonight's show. But I thought he might have been a bit premature talking about the potential SWAC championship. Because when you look at the leaderboard after week 1, technically, how about those Panthers? They're sitting on top of the Western Division with a 1-0 record, along with Pine Bluff at Arkansas. They, too, are on top of the West. And who would have thought that not only would Grambling and Southern experience losses on the same weekend, but at home? Unheard of. Is this the strange things to come in the future of spring football? Could this be a glimpse at the future toward the fall? I know that right now that the state of Louisiana is on panic alert to a degree. Grambling, as you heard in the report from Brother BJ, had not lost at home since 2015. Calculate that. 6 years. 5 plus, 5.5, however you want to call it. A long time since they had lost at home. And not that there was any heat per se on Coach Fobb's seat, but when you look at the neighbor of Louisiana, in Baton Rouge to be exact, I could imagine that the charcoal coals are hot. They're stirring the coals up right now to get them even hotter for Coach Dawson Odom. But it's a lot of hidden things that people are not truly aware that goes on behind the scenes. And I'll explain a little bit. I won't get onto this too deep. But the starting quarterback for the Jags released a very, what I would say, concerning tweet today, or either sometime within the last 24 hours. And it's alarming enough from my professional experience in my other life that this brother is crying out for some help. And it is truly beyond the game of football. And I am dead serious when I say this. I am praying that this young man gets some help, because it's obviously some things going on that the public is not aware of. And there are desperate cries for help from his social media status, from what I've gathered, which is one of the policies that we somewhat uphold here on the Mike Prince Show. If you ever pay attention to how we do our sports coverage and sports stories, we stay away primarily from student athletes, be it good, bad, or indifferent. We'll let the coaches and staff talk about them, but we don't, because it's a very thin line from my vantage point. Because as much as people love to hear how you highlight the student athlete when they are excelling, but then the moment you highlight a student athlete for not excelling, then you are mean, harsh, cruel individual. So we would rather focus on the team efforts and emphasis on leadership. Because let's be honest, the leaders are the ones that are getting paid. And if anyone deserves a little heat, I believe it should be the leadership, whether it be athletic directors, presidents, coaches, even trainers, because they are quote unquote paid professionals. And when you're dealing with young minds between the ages of 18 and 24, 25 in some cases, they're still trying to get some things together and wrap their head around certain things. And you get a bunch of old folk like us saying what they're not. And then the moment they do good, all's forgiven, all's forgotten. Well, these young minds are like sponges. They hold on to everything. But I am truly, truly praying that Brother Skelton gets his spiritual walk right, his emotional walk right, his social walk right. Because sooner or later, football will be put on the back burner. That's a reality that 98% of us will face. Only 2% move on to the professional ranks to get paid, but you'll be a professional in another field, preferably of your field of study for the rest of your natural life. A lot going on, a lot moving and grooving, but I also got a bone to pick. I am not a happy camper right about now. And I'll explain all of that when we return. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it right where you got it, and we will be right back. Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile. Whether it's a small dent or a major accident, if your vehicle needs auto body repair, check out Reflections Paint and Body Shop. All repairs are completed by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. That number again, 936-931-5780. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show, Sunday Night Live edition. We try to come to you each and every day with news that you can use, all that good sorts. We went over some football scores from the Southwestern Athletic Conference earlier, and I told you I got a bone to pick, and I'm just about to pick that bone. But before I do that, I want to quickly jump over to the Southland Report by Brother Rob Butler. So we'll quickly hear that, and we'll be right back.
This is Rob Butler with your Southland Report. After going score for score with Incarnate Word for most of the game, Lamar's turnover troubles eventually proved too much to overcome during a 42-20 loss at Provost Humphrey Stadium in Beaumont. Sophomore running back Chaz Ward was Lamar's best offensive option Saturday, running for 105 yards on 26 carries with a rushing touchdown. Incarnate Word quarterback Cameron Ward threw for 341 yards and 4 scores, while running back Kevin Brown recorded 196 yards on the ground. Incarnate Word has an open date next week, while Lamar travels to Lake Charles to take on McNeese at noon. McNeese State, looking to rebound from the week before, had a chance to pull off the upset Saturday night in Hammond, Louisiana. The Cowboys were driving for the winning score with just over 2 minutes remaining when quarterback Cody Ogeron fumbled 4 yards from the end zone. Southeastern Louisiana's Alex Ramos recovered, and the Lions never gave the ball back. The result was a 25-20 Lions victory. Ogeron finished 13 of 20 for 165 yards and 2 interceptions. Cole Kelly threw for 301 yards for the Lions. Southeastern Louisiana will host Northwestern State next Saturday at 6 p.m. The number 7 Nicholls State Colonels used a gritty performance by running back Julian Gums, who rushed a career-high 36 times for 156 yards and a touchdown, to pick up its 5th consecutive win in the series against Northwestern State, defeating the Demons 31-24 Saturday night in Turpin Stadium. With the win, Nicholls improved to 3-0 on the season and 2-0 in the Southland. The victory sets up a top 25 matchup next Saturday in Huntsville against Sam Houston at noon. Now on to this week's games. I look for McNeese to bounce back against an improving Lamar squad. The Cowboys win this game 34-24 over Lamar. The game of the week by far is Nicholls at Sam Houston in Huntsville. The Colonels are rolling on offense behind running back Julian Gums and quarterback Lindsey Scott Jr. The Bearcats are led by quarterback Eric Schmidt and a stout defensive line. Sam wins this game in a thriller, 41-38 over Nicholls State. Northwestern State is at Southeastern Louisiana next Saturday. The Demons played Nicholls closer than many expected, but quarterback Cole Kelly will lead the Lions to victory next Saturday evening. Southeastern Louisiana wins this game 45-28 over Northwestern State. And that's Rob Butler, Open Mic Broadcast Network.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show. We thank Rob Butler for that report. Now, I told you, I got a bone to pick. I want to give a congratulations to the Prairie View A&M University Panthers men's basketball program, sealing the victory yesterday over Alcorn State. They solidified the number 1 seed. And the bone part comes with this. They are considered co-champions with Jackson State. Jackson State gets the number 2 seed for the drawing of the men's basketball tournament. We'll get back to that in just a second. Congratulations to the Mississippi Valley Delta Devilettes. Because of their victory over the Panthers in head-to-head competition, they claimed the number 8 spot. It was a gridlock between Mississippi Valley, Prairie View, and the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Prairie View beats Pine Bluff head-to-head. Pine Bluff beats Valley head-to-head. But Valley, with the trump card, victorious over Prairie View to claim the number 8 spot. So your brackets are set in both the women and men's division. Back to my bone. Not digging it, not feeling it, but it is what it is. I understand Jackson State's undefeated, but Jackson State did not play 2 of the top 4 teams. And I understand why you put them at number 2. That way, if anything gets hashed out or needs to be hashed out on the court, it is now structured to where the 2, if they stay on Destiny's course, would meet in the championship round. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Texas Southern, in my opinion, should be the number 2 seed. Jackson State, deservedly number 3. But I don't make the picks, right? I personally believe that the conference took the easy way out on this one. There is no formula that can justify Jackson State being number 2. In the infamous words of Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And it's just like the Tootsie Roll commercial. Could they have gone 4-0, 2-2, 3-1, or 0-4? The world may never know. But it'll all get hashed out starting this week from Birmingham, Alabama. And we'll be there to give you all we can while we can. I'm going to take a break, and we're going to try to get Mike Robertson on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline, and we'll be right back with more of tonight's show. You're listening to The Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Drivers and bicyclists both have the right to be on the road and travel safely. And when we're on the road together, safety is a shared responsibility. State law requires drivers to maintain at least 3 feet of clearance when passing bicyclists. And bicyclists should always ride with the direction of traffic and follow all traffic signals. It's safer. It's courteous. It's the law. A message from the Regional Planning Commission Pedestrian and Bicycle Program.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 7 years of bigger and bigger enrollments, America's grade schools will need nearly 250,000 extra teachers besides those to fill normal vacancies. This great need, plus the growing public interest in education and improvements in schools, make elementary school teaching a more rewarding career than ever, a career that high school and college students should certainly consider. Education holds America's future, perhaps your future.
The birth of legends are storied in this conference. We must never forget our rich history. We now turn our gaze to the future. The new legends will emerge. New heroes to arise. The Southwestern Athletic Conference. Be our history.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org.
Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show Live Sunday night edition. We're on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. I have with me the head baseball coach of the Texas Southern Tigers. Tigers just complete their work over the Panthers over the weekend with today's victory, if I'm not mistaken, 7-2 to sweep the series. We have with us Coach Mike Robertson. How you doing this evening, Coach?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Mike?
Well, I'm torn, man. I'm doing good to be alive, but I'm not doing good on the way you keep beating up on my Panthers.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that. You're not going to change your colors, and I have at least a special place in my heart for Prairie View. So, in saying that, you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely, and that you have been doing pretty regularly right now. As we mentioned, it was a sweep. Give us a recap of the series, if you can, from the skipper's eyes, sir.
Just really a well-played game Friday night. Definitely a pitcher's duel. Kyle Smith, he was able to get all three of his pitches over, and our guy, Cam Fields, a transfer from University of Texas, Cam probably threw 108 pitches, and I want to say 96 was fastballs. So, we stuck with what was working, but definitely a pitcher's duel Friday night. And we end up winning that ball game on a mistake on their part, a throwing error in the ninth inning. But just other than that, the weekend, it was mostly pitching and defense. I thought that Prairie View overall has improved, especially in the middle of their field. The shortstop played really well, and the second baseman showed well. And their starting pitching play, we battled with lots on the kid from Chicago on Saturday. We was able to get to him early, but all the scoring was done early on Saturday and Sunday, and we talked about that with our kids about trying to control the early innings. Just to give the team a chance to settle in and give our pitcher a chance to settle in and make pitches. And so really, on our part, no one big, hero, just good pitching, good defense, and timely hitting.
We're on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with head baseball coach Mike Robertson of the Texas Southern Tigers. You made the mention of the UT transfer, but then you had another transfer to start for you on Saturday that had some PV ties, not only with he, but family members, this, that, and the other. Speak on the Brian Williams affair on Saturday, and how did you end up with him coming to Texas Southern?
Well, Brian's brother, his oldest brother, David, played for me probably 5 or 6 years ago. So we had some ties to the Williams family. And we didn't get a chance to recruit Brian because, Prairie View was closer to him. But definitely a huge addition for us. And I just like the way that things worked out for us and getting the Fields kid and then able to get Brian too. Brian is a really good athlete as well as a good pitcher and just a really good kid. And he pitched really well for us on Saturday. He was able to get to the outside part of the plate, and I thought his breaking ball is getting better each and every outing. And he's starting to get a feel for his changeup. So he gave us 6 quality innings, and that's what we asked for our starter, 6 or 7 innings and 3 runs or less.
Absolutely.
So he did an outstanding job for us on Saturday.
Now, I noticed that you made mention that one of your pitchers threw 96 pitches out of possibly 110, 120 pitches. But when you're starting off early in the season, wouldn't you prefer that they rely more on the fastball and the changeup because it's still cool out and the wings are not as loose as they could be as the summer or the spring heats up? And isn't that more of a safer route to go to make sure that you're hitting your spots early on?
Yeah, well, timing is everything. What we try to do, is kind of watch hitters swing and try to call the game according to what we see. So I just thought that Phil's fastballs were better than Prairie View swing. So we just decided to throw more fastballs than try to speed up that bat and, stay with his off-speed pitches. So we kind of trashed his off-speed pitches and elected to go with his fastballs, and it worked out.
Okay, very good. So now you get set. Now, what is your midweek schedule before your next weekend conference battle?
We travel down to Baton Rouge on Tuesday, and we'll play LSU, and then we'll be back home for another conference series, home series against UAPB.
Right. So you'll take on UAPB, and it's always good to get out early in conference play. And with the way things are going right now, you need every win that you can possibly get. Now, before we let you go, sir, this has been a big Texas Southern Prairie View weekend, football, baseball, and then the tournament is beginning. Do you get a chance to try to sneak peek in between innings when you know you got multiple games going on, or do you just stay focused on the grind?
Nah, I try to stay focused on the grind. Last night while I was washing clothes and, spending some time with my grandson, I was able to, listen to a large part of the football game last night. I sound like it was a really good barn burner. And, I know we were leading late in that game, and I don't even know how they scored on us, but I just really was visualizing what it was going to do for our student athletes, because it's been a while since they tasted success, and they definitely were working hard. So, they right there. They really right there. So I was able to, listen to those games. But as far as, baseball games and our conference and stuff, I try to just stay focused on, what we're doing and try to control the controllables.
Absolutely. Well, sir, as always, we thank you for making yourself available, and we appreciate the baseball part, because if you don't know anything else, here at the Open Mic, we're going to support baseball, rain, sleet, snow, or shine, my friend. We're going to give you some closing thoughts and comments right now. Just want to tell the fans to stay tuned in with HBCU and continue to support us, especially coming off of COVID-19, trying to get back to normal and trying to also deal with the new normalcy. I just, want to thank everybody for the support that they've definitely given myself and my program throughout the years, and especially you guys for giving us recognition and exposure and doing the job as well as y'all do. And, just hope that everybody is safe and well during these crazy times right now. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, my friend, for joining us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. He is Coach Mike Robertson of the Texas Southern Tigers, the maroon and gray. They sweep the Panthers, but they have to come back on the yard, and hopefully things can get balanced out. We're going to take us a break, and we're going to go back to Waller County and talk with the head football coach, Eric Dooley. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and we'll be right back.
Where he laid his hat was his home, and when he died,
Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
Hello, this is Alonzo Hardy Jr., the president of the SWAC Alumni Association. The SWAC Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999, at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and roast banquet or luncheon where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Prophet Wagon Master Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at SWAC universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the SWAC Alumni Association, or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to SWAC Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is swacalumuniassociation@yahoo.com.
Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile. Whether it's a small dent or a major accident, if your vehicle needs auto body repair, check out Reflections Paint and Body Shop. All repairs are completed by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. That number again, 936-931-5780. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show Live. Unfortunately, we were not able to catch up with Coach Eric Dooley, so the show must go on. We're moments away from hearing from Brandon B.J. Jones. He'll recap our football weekend that was throughout the Southwestern Athletic Conference, but we do thank those who were able to make it thus far. Coach Michael Robertson of the Texas Southern Tigers. Tigers taking care of business with the Panthers over the weekend, winning in 3, 7-2 on today, 9-1, I believe. I'm not real sure. 9-3, 9-3 and then 3-1, or 3-2, I should say, on Friday night. So we know that things are working out from indications and reports. Panthers are improved on the diamond. Now they have to put some wins together with the assessments to see how things would go. Right now, 0-8 on the young season, but they will get a chance to try to work things out on this next weekend series starting against the Grambling State Tigers. See how that works out. You want to try to catch the Tigers early because they have started slow, especially under Coach Cooper, and they normally heat up on the backside of the season. So we'll see how Coach Riggins and companies sort things out from that perspective. Meanwhile, back to the controversy on two sides and involving Prairie View, one from the gridiron and the other from the hardwood. There was a play late in the game against Texas Southern, questionable on whether the person stepped out at the 6 or the 4. Needless to say, it was spotted at the 4. The benefit of Prairie View, some would say, because a couple plays later, Panthers punch it in to take the lead and hold on to the lead late in that game. And we were going to ask about the quarterback play of Connolly and TJ Starks. Both of them got some playing time on yesterday, and seeing what the assessment was and would have been from the likes of Coach Dooley. But we'll get a chance to get caught up on that. A lot of things going on and moving throughout the air. And, of course, the other controversy was the seeding, in particular that of the men's side of the hardwood between Prairie View, Jackson State, Texas Southern, and Southern University. Southern University is number 4 seed. Texas Southern is number 3. Jackson State's number 2. And Prairie View is number 1. Okay, if you want to go that both of them were undefeated. One had a couple of games shorter than the other. Okay, that's fine. But then to name them as co-champions for the regular season play is where I would draw the line. You can't compare it. It's like comparing apples to oranges, grapes to grapefruits. There is no comparison. There's no way that at this stage anyone could convince me otherwise that they're co-champions. It's just not possible. I know what has been done, and if I was one of those conspiracy believers and theorists, I could see or say that I smell a conspiracy. But I'm not going to go that far down the road. But it is interesting. It is unique on how you could dub them as co-champ. You can pick a number 2 seed all day long because of the undefeated record. But when you have not played 2 of the top 4 teams, but as they say, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. And once it's out, it's out. So the way the course is structured right now, you will see each other if both teams hold up their expectations at the championship round. Winner takes all. We have scheduled to speak with Coach Byron Smith later on through the week. They're making their travel preparations toward Birmingham, Alabama. Reminding you that you can listen to the broadcast through audio version here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network throughout the course of the tournament play. Visit the website at obnradio.com. Go to the game day button and you should be able to enjoy to your heart is content. I'm going to take a break. I got to get Brother BJ on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union hotline. We're going to talk some more football. Of course, the shocker, Deion Sanders and Jackson State. But there's also another shocker going on, that in the likes of Pine Bluff taking care of the Southern Jags. We'll talk about that, as painful as it might be for Brother BJ. What a man's got to do. What a man's got to do. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it right where you got it. I promise you we'll return. Never let anyone devalue or underestimate your hard work and dedication. Many times we hear people say, wow, you're lucky. I wish I was as lucky as you were. I've learned something about the word luck. It's not necessarily one having luck, be it good or bad. It's about how a person applies the life lessons learned to their next assignment or challenge that lies ahead. We all are faced with challenges. We all have obstacles. We all have days that we wish we could have stayed in bed. The bottom line is, you take what's in front of you, work with what you've got until your change comes. The next time someone tries to tell you that you're walking around in this wealth of luck, it's okay to smile and accept it. But if you remember nothing else, remember this. Luck is spelled L-U-C-K, which stands for labor under correct knowledge. And when you labor under the correct knowledge, more than likely, you will come out ahead of whatever situation is laid before you. This has been another Moment with Mike. Thank you for tuning in. You guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, this is BJ Jones, man. We got a lot to talk about this weekend. Had a full slate of games in the SWAC. But the game I wanted to talk about, Jackson State. Yes, Jackson State, led by head coach Deion Sanders, go into Robinson Stadium and defeat the G-Men of Grambling. First Jackson State win over Grambling since 2012. First Grambling State loss at home since 2015. Jackson State gets it done, 33-28. Game started off, it was all Jackson State. They score first. Then Grambling scores 14 unanswered. Then the Tigers of the Jackson State variety scored 20 unanswered in the second half. And after that, it was all Grambling. All the way up until when it really, really mattered. Grambling going in to get the score, fumble the ball at the goal line. Jackson State takes over to solidify the win. Offensively, Tyson Alexander of Jackson State, 17 carries for 184 yards, a whopping 10.8 yards per carry, and a touchdown to go on the day. Jalen Jones was efficient, 12 of 18 for 180 yards. The pretty piece of the puzzle, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Tigers have officially, the Tigers of the Jackson State variety, have officially put the SWAC on notice. We'll see how this goes. Where does Grambling go from here? Where does Jackson State go? And was this a preview of a potential SWAC championship game this spring? We'll find out later. I'm out of here. It's your boy BJ Jones, host of The Barbershop on the Open Mic Network.
And welcome back to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. Brandon BJ Jones giving his recap of Deion Sanders shaking up the world. But there was also some ground moving in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We'll talk about all that right about now as we have on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline, Brother BJ Jones. How you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Mike. How's it going?
It's going good, man. You all right over there?
I'm doing pretty good, man. The sun came up this morning.
The sun came up this morning.
Yeah, despite what everybody thought. Yeah, it came up this morning.
You say despite what everybody thought, and no doubt you're referring to what some would call the second shock in SWAC Nation over the course of the weekend. You guys losing to Pine Bluff at Arkansas.
Right. Yeah, that was I didn't see that one coming. I kind of felt like it could be a competitive game, but I definitely didn't see that one coming.
Okay. Now, which one you want to tackle first, sir? We heard the report on Jackson State, and we'll come back to that on the backside. But give your assessment of the game between Pine Bluff and Southern from what you were able to diagnose and analyze from your football expertise.
I mean, Southern didn't look good on either side of the ball, offensively nor defensively. I think you saw Southern make some uncharacteristic.
Okay, we're having a little trouble with the audio of Brother Jones. Brother, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out, but we'll weather through it. Go ahead. You said Southern didn't look as sharp as you thought they could have. And before you go any further on that, we often hear that, but could it be that they were not looking sharp because of the will being imposed by the other team?
I mean, yes, that's the case, but the will of the other team has nothing to do with the personal foul penalties and the jumping off sides and all that other stuff. Those are mental mistakes you kind of, shoot yourself in the foot with.
Okay. So, in your opinion, if you were to give this a grading between 1 and 10, 10 being the greatest, how would you rate the performance of Pine Bluff and that of Southern?
I think I'll pop a 9. I think that they came out and they took the fight to Southern. I like what they were able to do offensively with Skylar Perry at quarterback. He was efficient, went for 223 yards in the air, threw 2 touchdowns, avoided the interception bug. I mean, you got to like that. And for Southern, I mean, as bad as it was, I'll still give Southern a C- because that game could have been over. Pine Bluff was up 19 points midway through the second half, and then here comes Southern, scoring an answer to get the score to 30 and had a chance to win it at the end. I'll go Southern to C because the defense only gave up 7 points entire second half after giving up 26 in the first half. John Lampley was efficient. He passed for 238 yards, but those 3 interceptions, threw 2 touchdowns. Those 3 interceptions, 2 of them were just horrible decisions by John Lampley.
Okay. We're on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with Brandon B.J. Jones. I know he doesn't like it when I call him Brandon, but his mother does, so I'm taking the side of Mama. I'm going to call him what his mama called him. But no, we're here talking football over the weekend. Pine Bluff with a 33-30 victory over the Southern Jags. And could I say heavily favored? I won't say heavily favored. We'll just say the favorite, home favorite, Jags of Southern University. Of course, we've heard about the Jackson State Tigers, and we'll get back to that one in just a moment. But another sound win. And if I might pat myself on the back, my bold statement over the weekend was that Alabama A&M would beat South Carolina State. I didn't think they would beat them like a drum. But, man, what and how do you assess the performance they did over this weekend?
Man, Alabama A&M looked. They didn't even look solid offensively to start off. I mean, because this game was 0-0 for a long time. Aqeel Glass threw 3 interceptions. Could have been 5. All right, because 2 of them hit the South Carolina State defender in the worst place they could have hit him, which was square in the hand. All right. But even then, he still was able to move the football, and they got it together in the second half, and they just lit him up. And they lit him up on the ground, they lit him up through the air, and they took the fight to South Carolina State. They dominated the ball game. So you got to give Alabama A&M a lot of credit.
Now, is it putting too much into the performance of Alabama A&M? We know what the expectations was prior to the season starting, and they didn't get a chance to play against Valley, nor did they get a chance to play against Alcorn. And could this be some of the ammunition of why Coach Maynard was as vocal as he was at the beginning of the season, because he knows what he had to unleash on the rest of the SWAC world?
Hey, Alabama A&M was my sleeper pick. Now, they were my favorite, once Alcorn opted out to win the Eastern Division. But, man, they've been, racking up on some talent, up in Huntsville. So I think, they definitely, made people pay attention to them after yesterday. It's going to be interesting to see what they look like, in the weeks to come, because at this point, we're projecting South Carolina State. We don't know how good or not good they are or aren't. And I know that they did lose a lot from that 2019 team. So we'll know more about Alabama A&M in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, and the nightcap from the Southwestern Athletics side was the Prairie View A&M University Panthers and the Texas Southern Tigers. A nail biter, a little bit of controversy toward the end. What was your assessment of that game?
I was very, very impressed with Texas Southern and what they were able to do defensively as well as running the football. I did not expect Prairie View to give up that amount of rushing yards with those many stars coming back from that defense. Did not expect that, Mike. But Prairie View did. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say one thing that Coach McKinney had stressed emphasis on in our conversations throughout the offseason, that he knew he had to do an immediate impact and change of his interior line on both the offense and defensive side of things. And you saw a huge improvement. The pressure that was being applied by the front four on the defensive side, forcing the quarterback to be out of the pocket and even forcing the wheel on a couple of sacks. And at the ability that they had to run seemed straight down the throat of the Panthers, especially as the game lingered on, and you knew that the fatigue would be a factor because of everybody's lack of being able to get in top-notch football shape. But I think there was some short, immediate improvements that you saw from the line play.
Yeah, I think he definitely. I haven't seen Texas Southern look that good defensively in a long time. And I give Prairie View their credit. Prairie View could have given up. When that game was 19-13 and it looked like Prairie View had missed their opportunity, they could have given up. But, that last drive, converting that 4th and long, I know there was some controversy around it. Prairie View got it done. They got to give Coach Dooley and that staff, that football team, some credit for pulling that one out.
Absolutely. If it's 1 inch, 1 yard, 1 mile, or 100 points, a win is a win, and I'll take it any time, any way I can get it, as long as it's legitimate, and especially when you're playing a rival. We got a little bit of time left, BJ. The granddaddy of them all, the shocker of the weekend, as Sam Cook said, it's a long time coming, but Jackson State got it done. I know you took the back seat this past weekend on Carlos' show, and you said you wanted to assess and see what everybody had. From your vantage point, what does Jackson State have?
They have a football team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. We joke about the I believe, but that football team is believing, and they believe that they can compete. In the past, when Jackson State got up and Grambling came back and took the lead, in the past, Jackson State would have given up. And that's been under the last 3 coaches. They would have given up. But the fact that they did not give up, they stayed fighting, even down to the last drive when it looked like Grambling had them or was getting ready to deal with the knockout blow. they still believed and they found a way to win. So kudos to Coach Deion Sanders and his football team. They go into Eddie Robinson Stadium and beat Grambling for the first time since 2012 and hand them their first loss at home since 2015.
Yes, sir. It was a weekend of history being made, and I guess to say to be continued, because we've only just begun. BJ, as always, my man, we want to thank you for joining in with us. Quickly, let the people know how they can get more of your content and information throughout the world of social media.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Inside HBCU F-Ball, Inside HBCU Football on Facebook, or BJ Jones on Facebook. You can also catch me on Saturdays right here on Open Mic Network with Carlos Brown doing the football season. We have a good time doing that. You'll be able to catch me soon. Barbershop's coming soon right here on Open Mic Network. You guys are going to really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to bringing that to you guys.
Well, sir, we look forward to bringing it on, and we thank you guys so much for joining in with us on tonight. We want to thank our guest on tonight, Michael Robertson of Texas Southern Tigers Baseball, Brandon B.J. Jones, football analysis here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and we're going to have to reschedule Dr. Donald Reed and Coach Eric Dooley for some time in the very near future. Don't forget, SWAC basketball tournament starting this weekend. You can check it out live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And if the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise, we will do this all over again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. And the YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. I must exit stage left, but until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.